it.
DJ Manchu does not want to give your stream back to you,
Bro,
Bolt.
he's got some
Yeah.
solid tunes, hey.
Yeah, he does.
It's because he was in our generation. He was the DJ for our generation, so he knows
Oh.
what we like. Here we go. Are we getting any feedback of Doom?
Yeah.
Are we?
Is it from me?
Just seeing if we are. Are you hearing any, Choco?
Oh, wait, hold on. No.
Oh, on my side, it finally gave it back. Mics are working though.
Can you hear the music?
Slightly.
Yeah, that's about at the volume that we want it.
Yeah.
Kia
Kia ora whānau. Cheer the bro on me.
no.
Kia ora whānau.
Oh.
Same. I hope they were talking smack because I can't see the chat. Shame. 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 No. Be able to see the chat soon.
Alright. Kapai. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Yo.
Ah, how come I look like I got a sunburn? What the hell, man?
How do you do brown like brown red? Is that a thing?
Okay. Ka te ake te whānau, nau mai hoki mai anō ki te kaupapa o te koropupu tuarua, the second boil. We're back again, whānau, here to get the lowdown on new kaupapa with a new special guest. So, hara mai whānau, nau mai, let's go.
Okay, if you got a spare tablet set up anyway, Bolt, I gotta show you how to do.
Wrong one.
Oh,
There we
just
go.
smart native.
Kia ora. No. Alright, kia ora whānau, we're back again with the second boil. Alright, this is one of three your co-hosts speaking at the most. Matua Native, aka Native Assassin, aka Chera Bog. Ngā mihi kia koutou, I'll pass it up to the bro up top. Tēnā koe.
To the Bolt, yep. So for those who don't know, Aximo Tromega, also a host of the Second Boil, aka not invited to the NG Tekken game games. Pass it on to Choco.
Kia ora whānau, it's Choco here, back again. Sorry. I'm pleased to announce our special, wonderful guest, the crack-up-ass Jamassbeats. Introduce it all over to you, bro.
Vince was just trying to take that all in, but oh yeah, kia ora tātou. Ko hāmi ora taurima taku ina, he uri tēnei nai ui o ngā skahunu nai tūhoi. Yeah, Jamassbeats for short, yeah. Kia rata
Yeah.
Sneak Wana.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yo.
kia rata wana.
Ngā pai. Nā reira, tēnei ka tuku i ngā mihi ki a koe e Jamassbeats nau mai hoki mai ki wanganui a tātou. Mo te koropupu tuarua, the second boil, my bro. Good to finally have you on here.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. Well, no sooner or later whether it's good to be here, but yeah. Inez for our Inez, my man.
Ka pai.
Uh,
And massive shout out to the chat at the moment, whānau. It's good to see heaps of people in here early. Been a part of the kaupapa. Okay, so the kaupapa tonight, Jamassbeats. So, kōrero mai. Okay, you mentioned no ngai tūhoi, no ngā tikau ngunu. Koe mā bai. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing.
Oh, how much of the hua do you want in it? Because, you know, if I don't
bro.
put...
Oh,
if I
hua.
don't
Hua, bro.
Oh, full hua? Oh, yeah. My... Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
my
that's changed.
upbringing... Yeah, no, if it's going to be full hua, man needs to see the chat.
We need a
Yeah,
counter
chat
for the
loading in there.
Yep.
See how we
Before we
just...
start, bro, we need the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, okay, well, about me, Mans was a military brat. Yeah. So he started with Huas. Both my parents were in the Navy, so they were Hua from way back, even before, yeah.
Oh.
I had a very blessed upbringing, to be fair. Man's had like very open and loving parents before that was even a thing. So it
Yeah.
was definitely I suppose everybody has a one of a kind life, but just from the people I've met in that, man's was blessed. They
Yeah.
blessed life, moved around a lot, as being a military brat. Not many people do the hike from being born in Auckland and being raised on the shore to down south,
Mm.
to the almost opposite end of the country, but yeah, and almost everywhere else in between. Men's has either met whānau or, built the bon nucks. But yeah, there's
Oi.
more to that story, but that's the PG version, I suppose.
And I hear a lot of stories coming out. So
Oi.
like, just so people get the idea, bro. Like, you're currently in Tauranga, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And personally, I've just connected up with Ngāti Gaming whānau, and we got Pikete and then Legends. And next minute, this guy's like knowing all the boys.
Yeah.
Like knowing all the boys. Already on with the old Matua Native in them, and like old hands, bro. I was like, oh shit.
Yes, you've already
Was
linked up with the bogs.
Yeah, well, see,
How's that?
that's the thing. Men's is a bog. Like,
Yeah.
I suppose I was raised out of time. Really, both my parents were older than people my age, like their parents. So, he was blessed with a bit of that. I suppose Mairano vibe.
Mhm.
People say they can hear it in the reo, when I speak the reo, or they can feel it in just the air. Men's just clicks with the older crowd. Nothing against the boys, like, but
Mm.
we just I don't know. I always tend to just fit in better with the old cats, Shout
I
out
wanna-
to the aging gouts and then the bro on me.
I want to touch on that, my bro. Now you say you're fluent in Te Reo, okay?
No, I'm scuffed into it all.
You're scuffed in Te Reo.
Yeah,
Hey, but you have the Reo
And the upbringing.
yeah, nonetheless.
the
So
roots of their man just needs to water the plant.
oh yeah. So let's talk about that because we've got a lot of whānau out there that have been striving for the Reo. And then we've
Yeah.
got those of us that are fortunate enough to have that koha in our kete. So
I think for me the biggest roadblock that people put in front of themselves is wanting to have it perfect before they say it. There's no better learning curve than an older hand. In my case, my mum. There was nothing better than her being like to every other thing I said, either wrong word or wrong context, and people are too actual shame. Like,
it's always
yeah.
been better than new skin.
Yeah, like, and people get like, they get hella caught up on that small, that small buzz. Like, it's so tiny that like not having it perfected. Being able to say it is better than being able to express.
I want to see what other things.
But then
Mm.
trying to tell someone to make mistakes is a tall
Hard.
order too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like getting people to get over that feeling of shame,
Yeah, bro,
or,
man.
Yeah.
or not feeling it, or just not feeling it in this case, and
Oh,
you can't really tell someone, oh, don't feel shame. Or you either are or you're not. You either know shame.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
can't
True.
tell someone.
I'll chuck it back to those that were in the stream last night when I told the story about the nostalgia I felt. I got hit with this massive bout of nostalgia from my childhood because of something that happened that day. And now I'm not going to repeat the story because time and a place. I mean, the VOD's there. I know the VOD's there.
The VOD's there, go check if I'm lying.
But a man can go from having a feed to
I'm gonna send it in the opposite direction. I realized the way I put it was badly placed.
Oh, hang on, I'm getting a bit of
There.
feedback.
Did you see that?
Oh,
good point.
yeah, anyway, sorry. I couldn't
I
think
didn't-
straight because I could hear myself like doubling over. Yeah, so if I can go from talking about burgers to nostalgia to atomic theory with Axiom to, like the speed of light you're currently traveling at, like in your own way. Like if I can go from McDonald's feed to there, like and everything else in between. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, Agent Fab in the chat, man. How many middle fingers did he give me last night? Was there a count? Must have been 40 plus.
Well,
You
probably
know,
about as much as your.
Yeah. A man stuck on that too. Shout out to Sequana, man. But it's hard to
The trendsetter. Well, yep.
it's hard to put into words being comfortable in your own skin to somebody else. You can't tell someone to be comfortable in their own skin.
And you really can't
force
teach
them.
it, eh? And you
Yeah.
can't teach someone to be comfortable with themselves.
I'm not so much comfortable in my own skin. I just don't care what anybody else thinks. Like I'll say what I want, and someone's like, "That's dumb." I'm like, "Shame, you're dumb," and then just carry on. You know, like it's nothing.
Well, that's dumb. It's like, yeah, I know.
Or just agree. You know, yeah, it is dumb.
Yeah, it is, eh?
Yeah.
But I like it. Oh, it was like perfect example. I fired up a stream and I was like, I'm gonna play World of Tanks because I really want to play it. I jumped in straight away, like my one of my really good mates and another really good mate. I just made both come in, and they're both like, "Oh, this is shitter," and I'm like, "Then don't watch. Like, I'll play my get out of my chat." And they were the only two in there. I was like, I would rather have 0 viewers and play this game than have you two in here. You know, boo.
Koia pai tai tuku.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna be
And they know
doing.
who they are, man's not gonna put anyone on blast. Oh, there she is. There's one. Straight in the chat. Way to give yourself away.
It was me, see?
Yeah.
This is awkward.
Hey, straight up. She must be running
She'll
in
own
front.
her, yeah?
Yeah, and then the other one.
Yeah.
Straight away was Mud. Yeah. And those two. Those two come in, they're like, this is dumb. man."
Here's the
I was like,
bro red.
Yeah. But yeah, so as far as from my upbringing to getting comfortable in my own skin to, you know, just the idea of that and how that flows, as easily as that corridor flowed from one point to the next, so too should your view of yourself flow from one point to the next without any change or any, I suppose, distortion of the view of yourself. You should just be you throughout whatever you do, whether you go into like a job interview or you're streaming or you're, you know, just kicking back in your room on the phone to one of the boys you haven't talked to in years. Like it should all just be the same, you know what I mean? That's what makes me, I suppose, the way that I am. Within regards to speaking real,
Try going into the
like if it's wrong and somebody says, "Oh, that was wrong," I'm not like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not speaking
Yeah.
again."
I think the modern vernacular will be masking. Like you're not masking based on
Yeah, that's
what
it.
situation you're in.
Mm.
And have you
Yeah.
always been like that? Like,
Nah.
have you oh, okay.
Nah,
Was there
man's-
like a?
Oh, sorry, Choco. That just,
No, it's all good.
that hit me in the feels. Now, man's was a bit of a rough material. You know, he had to be molded.
Ah,
And the old lady had very good molding hands. Like,
So when
If it
you
wasn't
say
for
old
her,
lady,
Do you want me to
yeah, you talking mum or you talking nan?
I have both.
yeah.
I grew up with both.
You know,
So
don't
I wasn't even a diamond in the rough. Man was cold, and they tried to bash it hard enough to turn it into diamond. It just didn't work. But they just, you know, they keep pushing the pieces back together and hammer it. And I didn't know what they were looking for. And then I realized it wasn't so much that they were looking for something, but they were trying to break off the things that just weren't right. Until I was left as who I was supposed to be, you know. A lot of people who look at their upbringing and can laugh about it don't take it to heart, the things that they disagree with, but they just look at it and be like, I disagree with how that was. I'm not going to perpetuate that. I'll carry forward in a different way. People who are stuck on that and they're like, that was abuse. It messed me up. Like when you're stuck on it, it means that you're not giving yourself a chance to grow from the experience. You're just holding yourself there, reliving pain and I'm not taking it. I'm not trying to diss anybody that
Not
does
taking
that.
it away, bro. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Until you take that step, you won't be comfortable in your own skin. If there's parts of your life you're not willing to share honestly or openly with anybody, whether it's your partner or your closest boys, I'm not telling you to tell the world how big or small your axe is and be happy with it. Like, don't get it twisted. Yeah.
Honestly, bro, like the whole conversation there,
Mm.
when you do focus on the negative, you do stop growing. Like your growth stops when you focus on like these events. So like people know about the Fireball radio, and I laugh about that.
That's why I jump on Matsu's stream, not mine.
But yeah, so like those experiences can stop growth.
Yeah.
the cool thing about that though is that like they're intended as barriers for you, like challenges for you to overcome. It's those same things that make you a lot stronger. It's really to test your mindset so that you can see what type of person you will become after you've overcome that challenge.
I look at it the same way too.
Yeah.
If you go to the gym and you leave it on the same weight, you're never going to improve.
Koia.
But the representation of that in your actual life is struggles, it's successes, it's failures, it's all of those things that adds weight to your experience, and it gives you a chance to level up. If man's not out there leveling up, you're gonna stay the same. And
Koia.
if I stayed the same who I was in high school, none of you would want to talk to me, wouldn't be here, man's probably be out on the street having the $1.
Yeah.
You know, like getting on it, you know, no
Yeah.
progress.
Yeah.
Just
But
looking forward
that's
to
the
that
thing as well.
weekend cycle.
Yeah.
As long as it's constructive. It,
Yeah.
it has to be like constructive in a way. Like even criticism, especially criticism coming from whānau. You got the two types. You got constructive criticism, and then you got that intentional, damaging type of criticism that just that ruins you.
Yeah,
So
and even that stuff. Just to touch on that, Christchurch is still like a racist place. Like people might be like, nah, it's like world's getting better as a whole. Like, nah, it's not that bad
It's not.
anymore. If you travel certain alleyways, like where you find actual gang members doing actual gang deals, you'll also find on the other side of the road actual racists and actual people who go around perpetuating that. Like,
Yeah.
there's the two sides to the story, the sword, the book, whatever you want to call it. Like, if you know, you know. You know,
Yeah.
like,
hold up.
if you've actually met gang members, then it's not too far-fetched to meet actual racists. People don't come face-to-face with them in normal day life. Like, same with mob. Like, people might see a patch and be like, oh, it's a gang member, but you'll never get face-to-face with an actual gang member or, like, be around a deal. That's never going to happen at the park. Never mind what your mate says, talking about he met up with mobsters and did a deal. Like, nah, that cat's rubbish. He doesn't know what
Yeah,
he's
that's
talking about.
lies.
Yeah.
Not out in
Yeah.
the open.
Never out in the open, and like it's really confronting. Like it really does shake you when you meet that situation, like in its, I suppose, in its purest form, when you have like a legit racist in your face, or you're
Yeah.
fighting somebody because of those things, and you actually have reason to be upset,
That would be so
you know,
broken,
like
though.
about those things. If you can take those experiences and channel those for the better, you know, like then you're like really winning. That's when you're hitting like ultra instinct with your level ups. Like that's when you're
Yeah.
perpetuating the kind of energy that you want to grow properly and quickly.
But I suppose you could try and fight every fight, but man's just gonna end up tired or beat up, or both.
Mm.
You know?
Sorry, 2 seconds. Hey, Agent Kahu, at least I got on this on, boy. Have you even watched the Rocks yet? Sticking up to check it out, boy. I told you. Reckons he can get those shots in. Sorry,
Yeah. No, get the point. So just reflecting on that, that's why we have our whānau members treat us the way that we do while we're growing up, because they prepare us for that. They prepare us for all those experiences, like, you know, mum, nans especially, bro. The nans have experienced it way more than, you know, than the former generation or this
Their
generation,
words
you
cut
know?
your soul, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The words
You know?
deliver exactly how they intend to. If they were meant to cut your soul, they do.
And a lot of it too is like intergenerational mamai.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
just it's mamai from their time, it's mamai from before their time, and then it's mamai that's passed down. However, they've conditioned us to be able to deal with it in a lot better and a lot more meaningful way than what they were able to back in their time. And I
Yeah.
guess in this era, we're able to address a lot of those issues a lot more.
I partly agree, Des. That's what. Oh, let's carry on, but I partly agree. I'll touch on that after.
Okay, the point. So, well, conducting the research and being able to learn and understand, you know, what has happened in the past, and then be able to say, okay, just because it's normal nowadays, is it accepted? You know, is it okay? And then starting it's like critically thinking, okay, if this is what's happening now in this time, if that's what's happened all the time, what first and foremost, what needs to change? And second, what can I do to help make that change happen? Yeah. So
That's I suppose you pose the question that I suppose everybody asks themselves in a different shape or form. I ask myself that question, but less on a large scale and more on a smaller one. You know, like I
I was
started
gonna send them
small.
straight forward, but then I remembered
Um,
you'd probably fall off the map, so I send them to the right.
I'll definitely I'll go with your one first, and then I'll touch on my one. So
Get the point.
the formula itself is based upon like your perspective, your view, like where you're coming from. You know, like what can I do to do this, and then you ask somebody else, and so not only does the question flip to them, but also the Focado flips as well. Their perception of that question changes it. And so because you have this difference in understanding, you also have a difference in practice. You know, like you say to your mate, you know, we'll go and practice our skateboard moves. One starts working on a kickflip and the other one's doing pop shove it. It's already diverged. You know, they're still doing the same thing, but the application's already gone off. You know, like it's twisted. It needs to go back to the circle and understand what's the heart of that. What's the heart of that change? What it is that you want from people. So even if their path diverges in a different direction for the same purpose, that it always goes back to that. You know, kind of like a brainstorm. What's the main idea? So even if you go, you know, kiwiwi kiwawa, you dip off.
See,
You always come back.
the thing with that is having to know and understand what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
So
That's
like,
what I was just about to touch on too, way, bro. Like, what's the answer we're looking for? Because a lot of people's
exactly.
idea of what will, you know, say you've got the intergenerational Marmite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people want the land back,
Yeah.
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 and then other people's end goal is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like we were saying, already diverged.
For me, and like to answer that on my point of view, the perfect word for me is that the land ownership goes back to the iwi.
How dare you?
The title holders that sit on that land remain until they either one want to pass the land on to the next generation, and so they maintain work in that land. But the land itself, the preservation of that goes back to iwi because that's what it was about, preservation. You know, you take
It's a version of the old life interests in
yeah. So everything that they earn on that land, like everything above it, everything they want to do on it, goes back to the people that are there. You know, they don't lose out on the actual ownership of the land going back to iwi. But when it comes to things like, you know, making giant quarries, you know, turning everything into farmland, subdividing and all that, all of that stuff.
Bulldozing mongers, bro.
Yeah. All of that stuff goes back to iwi. And if it doesn't move forward and the iwi says no, you leave it there and you find a different way to make money. You know, like everyone's hell bent on the one idea that they have. You know, oh, we want to subdivide. New Zealand's beautiful and it's got all this green pasture. Let's cut it down and make more farms, bruh. How many farms do you need before you realize, oh, rats, now we can't have cows because it's affecting the ozone layer too much and we got to pull back. You know, like then what?
Yeah.
You're gonna go and dig holes and make
yeah.
mountains again. You know, you're gonna bring back native shrub and plant them back in the same spot. Like, wow, it's a waste of time. Find something else to do. But that's just my view, is that the land ownership should go back to iwi. The government still maintains all the money they make. They maintain the road tolls, the rates and stuff for the people that are on the land. Anything to do with like the legalities from, I suppose, the Pākehā side of things stays with them. They maintain all rights and ownership of that. They make all the money from that. What good? Leave the land with the iwi, you know? So at least you know in 60, 70, 80 years' time when people want to go back to whenua and see how it was, it's there, the same. You know, like the whenua is still the same. You might see a different building on it now, or you might see, you know, it being utilized a different way. You might see a farmer there who's, you know, farming, whatever. But
we got into the farmers pretty quickly.
Yeah, we did. But
Last week on the farmery.
Big ups to all the farmers. You know, like I hit them pretty hard with subdividing land. So like, no, go on, be a farmer. It's all good.
Okay, the point. Anyway, Jam, we're gonna pull the kaupapa back to you, my bro. Let's talk about you and your stream life, your gaming experiences, bro. Kōrero mai. Yeah. Tell us about Jam as a gamer.
Jam as a gamer is a rubbish. He's rubbish, bro.
That's what they all say.
That's why he decided to stream today, so everybody could see how rubbish he is.
Don't ask me the question and then go and talk over. But you want to hear my answer or not?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that is.
No. Okay, at the heart of it, Mans is rubbish. Like, I have a lot of free time, a lot of time to play games. So the perception that I'm good because I can do things that other people can't, or that I, you know, yeah, that's for the bro T.
Sure.
The perception that I'm good is all in your head. I'm rubbish. Like if you give me a game, I'm gonna take a while. I might get better at it versus like your view of it or not. But man, it's just rubbish because I don't care. Like I don't have that young buck fire anymore. He says, "Nah, I'm number one in my house, and I'll be number one in yours when I come to see you." That kind of energy, bro. That was like 15 years ago, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like all of that stuff is all of that stuff's out the door. So like when I say I'm rubbish, like I'm rubbish because I understand that I'm rubbish in myself. Like no matter what you say isn't gonna change my view, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If men's does well, men's does well. Like cool. Like that's not a thing.
Do you like have your own spectrum?
Comparing
as,
yourself to
rubbish
and why you
to
think
not
you're rubbish, bro.
rubbish?
Hmm.
Like,
Oh, the reason
What's the standard? Yeah, what's the standard that you're comparing to that makes you say
this is,
rubbish, bro? Yeah.
This is going to be a bit of a mind bender for everyone. Is that if I consider myself rubbish and something good happens, I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy the fact of it being good. So if men's is starting at the bottom and like the bro posted in men's solos all the squads and spell breaks and calls himself rubbish. If I do that, I get hyped about that. That's an awesome thing to do. If Mans thinks he's the best, he'll be like, okay, I killed one squad, where's the other two so I can make a clip? I'm not about that. You know, like I'm not having that energy in my head. So if I leave my level at the bottom,
setting your expectations, bro, rather than what your actual ability is.
Yeah. Oh, I won't comment on my actual abilities because I tell people like, I'm not, you know, like I'm not that good, and they're like, fuck, shut up. Damn carries me in Fortnite. Hey, Sabes, why you gotta bring Fortnite up? I got pumped for like 3 hours straight on stream, and you're like, carries me. Rubbish. See? Rubbish. That's what it is.
This could be an
Rubbish.
assumption, but I think it's a two-hoi thing. I think a huge part of that too comes down to humility. You're very humble, you're very modest, my bro. I know that for a fact. Like, yeah, you can be a tin ass at times too, like when you're with the boys. But then
Man's
you
just
know,
a smart ass,
yeah, of course.
Man's just a
But
smart ass.
it's I guess it's that whole time and a place knowing when to be that tin ass bro and then when to be the modest. So yeah, no, if you're saying you're trash, you know that's also a double-edged blade that can cut both ways, bro. Because not only for
getting smoked by a trash dude.
yeah, exactly. Okay, you got your teammates there and you go and top the lobby. How's that going to make your teammates feel when they know that they're getting outplayed by someone who's trash? So it's like, oh, okay, so maybe I'm not.
The other side to that thing is like we agree. Like you said, no one can tell you what you are because you know you got your own perception. I'm also saying, Garks, bro. Like I know you can do things, but at the same time you're not really measuring it up to anything. So it's more of setting your own expectations. I know
that's
that
subjective.
setting your own expectations.
It's not just gaming. It's almost like the ethos of my life. Like if I enjoy every little moment, from like my son's giggling on the couch because one farted, and then they look at each other and acknowledge the act and laugh, and I laugh too. If I can enjoy that every single day, then I can enjoy anything with my life. Like, and that came from like years of struggle with different things. You know, like being ill the last 3 years and stuff. Like when you like sink into mud and you get your eyes up and you can see things outside of that, everything's like fantastic. Everything was mud for such a long time. Everything was shit. Everything was actual bullshit. You know, like you get up above that, everything's fantastic. You know,
that way of thinking is thousands of years old, bro.
So,
it's like what they've been doing for
very
you control
optimistic.
how you feel.
Very
ultimately.
optimistic.
So like even things that should upset you wouldn't in that mindset. It's like an old Hindu way of thinking. The way you control your own happiness. It's you feel sadness.
Yeah,
no one inflicts it on you. You feel it.
Yeah, that goes back to like being raised by not only a strong independent woman, you know, after my father passing and stuff. Not only that, but the fact that she was like grounded in her culture and stuff gave me the opportunity to reach that level well, not that level, but to reach that inside myself. You know, not a lot of people have the ability to go home at the end of the day, enjoy their life as they have it, even if something's shit.
Yeah,
You
even
know,
if something's not
Mm.
going right, not making
yeah,
that the feature of your life.
yeah. A lot of people complain. You know, I don't get paid enough. I do all this overtime. I do all this work. I was like, bro, you have a job. You get to work. And
Mm.
they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you know, but, and I'm like, why are you butting that? You know, like, be
Yeah.
happy, man. You
Mm.
know,
Yes.
don't be a sour ass dude. Nobody
When you
likes.
start pointing that out two ways, especially like
Yeah,
having work these days is something that's kind of hard
Mm.
to keep a hold on to.
yeah.
Like having the 20-year career in one job is almost unheard of these days.
Hard.
So just
Yeah.
having mahi, yeah.
Unless you're a teacher, because
Yeah,
yeah,
Or then perpetually underpaid. Sorry about it. No.
yeah, perpetually
yeah.
underpaid, and there's a lot of teachers these days in Kura that are staying there well over their expiry date. So you know, shout
Yeah.
outs to the teachers of teachers.
Actual teachers
And
are often put it
they
rough.
do it for a reason, you know. They know
Yeah.
they're getting underpaid. They know
Yeah.
Yeah.
that 95% of the students they teach in their life won't appreciate the extra things they do for them. But for that 5% that they do it for and that keeps them going, like you really
Keep those fires
once you
burning,
yeah,
eh?
hard once you start like actually noticing that in everyday life, you realize where the discrepancies are. You realize where the the major fallings in society are when you have somebody who, like you said, is a career teacher and teaches somewhere that's like a decile 7, you know,
Oh.
Yeah,
decile
yeah,
8, and they're still there
yeah.
and they champion that, and only one kid out of that entire school might make it, and they'll do it for 20 years and they won't get the recognition for it, and they won't get all of the support or the care that they should get, but somebody somewhere will see that happen and will
Yeah.
say to them, you know, you're the best thing to ever happen to the world, people like you,
Handy.
and that, you know, and it'll just encapsulate it, and you're like, yeah. And that's
It's
what
So
the
one
people
day,
that
Matwa. Honest.
it's that
Yeah.
It's one day,
resiliency.
for real.
yeah,
Hard.
Resilience plays a huge part in that, I must say.
yeah,
But that's not just teaching, that's really anything. You
Mm.
know, for example, being a parent. You know, being a
Hard.
parent alone requires a lot of resilience. It's the most underpaid job ever. It's
24/7, 7 days a week for the
exactly.
rest of your
Hey,
life. Never mind this Pago Paparo that it ends at 18. Hell
Yeah.
no.
hey,
Ask my
The
mum, bro.
problems
hey,
are
She's
just
been picking
beginning.
up
They're going
after
into
me
yeah,
the
40
adult
years.
world. They're gonna bring those
hey.
problems home.
Hard.
So yeah, it's the most underpaid job ever.
Yeah.
You don't get holidays, you don't get breaks, okay, unless you've got whānau that are willing to take your kids for a moment, and even then, you're still
Yeah.
feeling the anxiety of your kids being away, and you're just waiting for the moment for them to come back home,
Yeah.
you know? But
Hard.
you love
That's
it,
a
you
big.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, you do. You do love it.
Yeah.
Bro, you have so much experience and knowledge. Is that from like just your life experience or from your ma? Because like from my point of view, you're quite multifaceted. Like you can talk about like will bring up a subject and you have like this like knowledge in your head and then you just start talking about it in depth. Like,
No.
is that just through life
Man,
experience
man's,
or?
Mans has the best sidekick skill in the world. Mans is never going to be the hero. He's always going to be the sidekick. I have
It's,
like a uncanny ability to remember almost anything
Wow, that's awesome.
that isn't worthwhile.
some
Like,
info, eh?
yeah.
I
Random
was-
info.
no, it's not. Like, because how many times are you going to talk about atomic theory, nihilism, or that in your everyday life? But I
Yeah.
still remember that rubbish. You know, like,
Oh,
it might seem like a special skill or learn, but like, just like you, like, I've gotten into conversations, I've been, what's the word? I've just been around a lot of people, and somebody will say something that piques my interest, and I'm like, bro, what does that mean? Or what's that about? And like, that happened a lot because man's like just traveled or just got around, you know, and did things. Just got out of the house. Men's wasn't like a neckbeard gamer then, you know, like he
Yeah.
wasn't no lifing it. But then he got forced into a position where he has to no life game, and now people will talk about something. I'm like, oh yeah, I did. I had a
Oh, yeah.
conversation with this bro,
Yeah.
and then I went and looked it up. So yeah, I just
Yeah, I was gonna
whatever
say.
Judging from some of your stories,
Yeah.
bro, yeah, just not shy to talk to people if you had
No.
to.
Having
like my wife will back me up 100, like, because I always say that like I'm I'm a introvert trapped in an extrovert's body.
Yeah,
So we'll
introvert
go
and
to a party,
extrovert.
yeah. But we'll go to a party and I'll be like, oh, I'm shy. I'll get inside and I'll find one person that finds something I said funny, and then I'm the loudest dude. You'll hear me for the rest of the night, no matter where you are. I might be like across the field, you're in the garage, and you'll still hear me louder than the person sitting next to you. Man, it just happens. Man's is loud.
See, this is
Loud
why
as
he
that.
resonates so well with Talia, because Talia was the other person that mentioned that to us as well. The introvert.
It's a real thing though. Like
Yeah, it is.
in certain situations, you're extroverted, but you're introverted until your interest is peaked.
Yeah, the bro on me like smashed it on the head. I match energy, and when I was younger, like most of the energy I got was that of like the adolescent young man butting heads. But I never wanted to be like the rumbuck dude at the party. I was always the one like having a laugh or like just having yarns, and somebody just wouldn't enjoy the fact that I'm talking to somebody, or oh, you made my girl laugh, I'm gonna go and be mad at you, and you come
not
up
the
and
jelly ones.
no, but like
Yeah.
I'd have a smile on my phone, bro. We can go rumble, like. I'll still be happy, and then like I'll have a rumble, win or lose. Like mans will still go back inside and have a laugh. You know, like people get geeked out when you're like, yeah, you lost the fight and you're still happy. Like, how does that work? I'm like, well, I enjoy fighting and I enjoy talking and I enjoy drinking. I'm doing all three of these things. Like, why should I be mad? You know, like, but that's like young dude stuff. You know, like actual young dude stuff. Now it's just like focusing on those points about being happy and doing the things that make you happy creates happiness. Like, I'd be quite happy to go to the pub with any of the breathers and get on the piss, or like just to have a yarn, or I can roll up in a blanket burrito and watch anime for 12 hours and feel like my day's fulfilled, you know, like hearing
Got one of those in the near future, yo.
Yeah, blanket burritos.
I'm planting that idea again. Yeah.
Shout out to people who rock the blanket burritos and just like mong out and watch TV all day and just feel happy about it. You know, like, gotta take time to relax.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned that, like, being able to sit down, like, say, after 14 days straight working, and then feeling lazy about it and not being able to feel guilty for the sake of it, you know. It is. It's a
there's
beautiful
too many
feeling.
people that feel guilty about relaxing. Man, relax.
Hard.
Your babies are fed. You know, like you went to your job, you come home. Sure, there might be dishes or there might be washing, but it's not like
kill anybody.
Relax.
That's that whole like productive culture, right? Like always having to be productive. And
Bro,
that's
how I got the radio fireball, bro. Just going, bro, it's not gonna kill anyone.
Yeah.
No, bro, you need to go and recheck that because that radio fireball sounded vicious. I don't know nobody I've ever spoken to got a radio that was set on fire thrown at them in discipline. You know, like that's just not a thing. That's just not a thing ever.
It's my mouth, bro. I deserve it.
Oh,
my mouth.
Like just touching on that, like discipline. Like, there's been heaps of times in my life, like where I would look at something and be like, nah, surely everybody's gone through that. And I'll mention it and I was like, who else got the thick ashtray bounced off the head? And who laughed at the fact that the noise it made was hilarious? Oh, just me? Oh, okay. No. But then you get into a conversation the conversation we got into and everybody's like, oh, nah, bro, never mind that. Well, how about the Hadouken radio? And I was like, what's a Hadouken radio? Oh, bro, let me tell you. And Draydog can back me up because he was there. I was like, oh, true. Honest.
It's just good, and he added more to it. I was like, bro, no, the overshare, you just meant to back me up.
Actually, there was a video quite a few years ago, but it was about that chick who threw the spade and hit the other girl in the head, went viral. And people were like, oh my god, that's vicious. That made it around my friends' channels, and they're like, she sacked it out. That's just a spade. Bah, I got one with the jug caught in my eye. Like, come on now. Like, we compared discipline to that video and we're like, nah, she sacked it. She sacked it real hard.
And we're still using the word discipline here, not abuse.
Well, I see it as discipline because, like, you reached that level of hiding, you were pushing that boundary.
Yeah, you were pushing it. Yeah.
You said it yourself, like, because I had a mouth on me. You know that you were saying some shit.
Yeah. Saying shit. Yeah.
No parent starts at. Nobody starts at like radio on fire. You know. Yeah. Nobody starts at ashtray. You like. I'm talking about like a thick glass ashtray, like thick glass.
Yeah, we know the ones,
remember those.
Just You know, you
In
don't
my
start at that. You start at smack bums.
There's
Yeah.
usually the
Leveled
glass
up.
handles nearby one of those as well.
No, for me, it was glass ashtray. She had these like thick clog shoes, like these wooden like slip-on clog things. Those things were vicious.
I
Lighters,
did. Yeah.
a standard.
We had a specific stick, bro. We had a specific stick by the end of my mouth capades, bro.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you level up, so does the difficulty level. It gets harder and harder every time. Yeah. Upgraded from smack to the bum to
Yeah.
ashtray to Hadouken with the
Yeah.
radio.
Men's are starting to feel left out.
On point, on point.
They took on the easy ease.
Yeah.
Winnie
Okay,
the wooden spoon. Sorry.
Like, what the shit?
Not
What's
Oh,
that
Winnie.
word that got X'd out for shit?
no, not the wooden spoon with a name. Fuck.
Yeah. Huh?
Hey.
Do you know what's funny though? Is that mindset about discipline, and I do the quotations
Yeah,
because
yeah, because
you know,
2021, that's straight up abuse.
yeah, 2021. That's like police sirens and oranga tamariki, but that's what I think is the operative difference between those that are hung up and that don't grow and those that do. Is that the fact that you can laugh about a fireball radio instead of being like I was abused and then going
Yeah.
cry, And again, I'm not trying to down people that do that. I'm just saying it's the point. The point of that is that you should grow. You should
Yeah.
learn to.
And that's that
Move
dichotomy, That's that
Yeah.
conversation had there. Was it discipline? Was it violence? It's I ended up the way I am.
No.
Somewhat functional. No, somewhat functional member of no.
Actually, just let me touch on Seek one I put in the chat. Have you ever done the nervous laugh before hiding? I do you one better.
Yeah.
I did the got a slap and laughed and thought it was gonna fly over. Next minute on the back, hey, what happened? Oh, you punched my mouth instead.
I used to always do stuff, bro. Like like when you're at the lowest end of getting a smack, bro. It's like hold out your hand. Did anyone used to cup their hand to make your hand harder, so that they'll hurt their hand? And that's how come I got the extra level up weapons, bro. Like you cup it, and it makes it harder.
I actually wish I got the smack hand.
Yeah, but it'll start off and if you're 4, you pull away.
Yeah.
You the pull away, get the hiding of doom. Then you do the old cup the hand, tense the ass, clench.
Like clinching.
Yeah,
For me, the level up was like when I was younger was always like either wait till your dad gets home or she'd just call out to him. And like that's when I'd get rigid. I'd do these ones and be like, oh no, I was kidding. No, please, no, Dad. Like too late. She's already called out, man. You're done. Like you're out of here. Game over.
I do have a question for everyone. In your household, on 3, just say if it was mum or dad that done the discipline. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, mum for me.
Mum.
Yeah,
No, it was my papa.
Mum.
Yeah.
Mum 100%, but see, like when she had to level up to dad, you knew like you had pushed that bar.
Yeah.
Because the old man,
Well, that's it.
he wouldn't smack a cheek, he'd smack right in the middle so you couldn't sit down.
Yeah.
So you'd have to think about that shit while you were awkwardly like sideways on the couch. And then you've got
What
your
kind of aim do you need with that, bro? That's some senen good or she shit, bro.
No, well, he had like hard working hands. Like he had really
The callous.
meaty tough hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, callous.
Had
Callous
rocks for
working
hands.
Yeah, rocks for hands, and men's would pretty much send the uppercut of doom up the anus. Like that was it, done.
Yeah.
And then you do that. I think what's worse than the discipline is the fact if you have siblings, you know that you're going to be the butt of the joke for the next hour and a half. There's nothing cuts deeper than like you having to relive getting disciplined with giggles in your ears.
Yeah.
Siblings just have a way of just pulling out of the bag too. I remember when you got a hiding yesterday at school. Shut up.
Yeah. Or remember that time you got slapped in front of your mates and then cried And then you
Yeah.
can't laugh.
No.
Remember how funny that was? No, never. And
Well, how's that? Fun only on the second boil where you get pono
Ah,
yarns
sika.
about discipline.
yeah,
And
I
the Māori
suppose-
I like good laugh about it. Yeah.
yeah. And look at how many people in chat are talking about that time that they got a hiding, and just you can feel the aroha pouring out.
Yeah.
hard out.
Every small bum, every broken wooden spoon. Oh, shout out to the bro souls. They used to play a game with their mum. Shout out to his mum too, because she's actually wicked. But they used to hide the wooden spoon under a couch cushion, and she'd be mad walking around the house looking for it, or like going through the kitchen and stuff. He was vicious, bro. That's smart, bro. That's something.
Uh,
If I'd done that in my
I'd
house, I would have
sack
got
that.
the
I'd be
vacuum
just
pipe
yeah. I
hard.
would
No.
sack it.
Did you
I'd be scared.
did you ever have that situation where you had, although you had mum yelling at you or you had mum, giving you the hard word, you were always focused on what was going to come next, wasn't that?
Nah, see,
Hey.
I could never focus on the old man, because the old man was that cat who would be like, he'd be doing this, he'd be looking at you, and if the old lady was like turned so she couldn't see his face, he'd be like this.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd look at him, and he's like,
Uh,
honest, like,
Yeah.
he was vicious, bro. And because he would
Yeah.
make you laugh, and she's like, what are you laughing at? And you're like,
Then I
honest, like, it was vicious, bro. Like,
and saying that,
Yeah.
bro, I would always just take the hiding, because fuck grounding.
nah,
Uh,
Hiding
Mum never
over.
got that far. I think it
Oh,
happened
man.
once where I wasn't allowed to go out of the house for like a week, and it didn't last like 5 days because she realized we'd be at home that whole time.
I met my match at grounding, like I'll take the hiding any day.
I would take the hiding. I saw Seeker's comment too. I would take the hiding over disappointment talk any day. Yeah, I could not handle the talk of doom.
Oh,
Yeah, they'll have me crying for 2 days.
I got like,
Especially when I was younger, ultra arrogant too,
Yeah.
like they couldn't have anyone talking to me about anything. Oh no.
like I was definitely blessed to have my grandmother living with us. Like,
Yeah.
she's still alive. I think she's 95. 95.
Yo,
or
shout out to the
94.
Nats. Let's go.
Yeah.
hard out.
But I was in high school, and Mans decided to partake in some green tobacco, and then wanted to get
How
caught.
many Gallic breads for
Oh.
lunch, bro?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mans partook.
Caught it on
Mans
mate.
partook, and so me and this bro got taken home, and I call his my mum. Mans is blessed to have like multiple mums and dads still rolling around, but we got taken home in a cop car, and we stopped at his house first, and I knew the old lady was at work, so safe. Like, Nan was old school. She didn't like talking to police officers, and when they were around, she'd only speak in Māori. So I was like, oh, they're never gonna communicate safe. Mans is getting away with this one, like there's nothing's gonna come of it. And so I went home. I walk in. There's this cop with me, and I tell my nan I get caught smoking at school, and I imply in te reo that it's cigarettes, and she frowns, and she's like, oh, and I can tell she's pissed, but it's not that bad. And I relate to the cop. My grandmother doesn't speak English, and my mum's not here. What do you want me to do? And she's like, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm gonna leave. Oh, safe, man's in the clear. Mum's never gonna find out about the young mini garlic breads. All good. And just as the cop goes to leave, like there's the kitchen door and there's the lounge door. She's going out the lounge door. The kitchen door opens, and the old lady walks in her uniform. So she's like in her military gear, black boots on, rolls in and looks at me sitting on the couch. She's like, oh, what are you doing home? And notices like the cop, like over here. And she's like, hey, what's this? And then it changed, the mood just shifted. And she's like, what are you doing home? What did he do? And the cop was like, because she was like, taken aback by the old lady's presence. Now, she's like 5'0", but man, she was huge, eh? She's just standing there like ready to jump. And
Their presence.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And she kind of started out, Mrs. Taurima, your son was caught partaking in mini garlic breads at school, on school property. And the old lady looked at me, looked at Nan, obviously knew Nan didn't know anything about mini garlic bread. And all she had to say was, "Te te kai taru taru tēnei i te kura." And like, she looked at me, like, dead in my eyes, and was like, "You're dead to me." Like, just the look. Oh, and they both, like, vicious, bro. Like, the old lady looks at me, I was like, "Oh, nah." And she was just like, "You do whatever this woman wants you to do," talking about the police officer. "Don't you fucking say a word. Don't you move." And I was like, literally just sat there. She asked questions, gave my fingerprints. And then the cop was going to leave, and then I realized, wait, fuck, I done fucked up. Because now I lied to my grandmother. I got caught smoking weed. And now I'm at home for 2 days because I'm suspended. Oh, bro.
Shit. What did you have to do, bro?
But there's nothing,
Dig up
bro.
the whole garden?
No, that was the worst thing. Nothing happened. My grandmother wouldn't speak to me. I'd ask her if she wanted a cup of tea, and she wouldn't even acknowledge the fact that I talk. She'd do this one, she'd be watching the game. "Nan, do you want a cup of tea?"
That silence.
They would have cut. They cut
man,
deep.
that's-
Silence is deafening.
Mum was pissed off for the rest of the day, but come the next day we were talking. Like,
Yeah.
you get to that talking stage. I wasn't out of the clear, and I did pay for it, like, for quite a long time, like, in different ways, but my grandmother was the worst. That, like, 2 weeks of not talking to her cut me real hard. That's when I realized, I was like, oh shit, like, I really fucked up.
Mm.
That, never again.
Age.
Although mini garlic bread still hit every now and then after high school.
Yeah. So was it the mini garlic bread, or was it the fact that you lied to your nan that
That
really
trust,
cut it?
bro.
Yeah.
I think the answer to that question is yes.
Yeah.
You already know the answer, bro. You
Yeah.
already know the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd never gauged that with her. I would say it was the lying more than the garlic bread.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
see, my grandmother was Tuturu, didn't drink, didn't smoke, like, her entire life. Probably the reason why she's still going hard. And even though my mum smoked cigarettes and stuff, like, around home, and like, Nan was around her, but I think because me and her were so close, I think it hurt her that now I was doing that, and I was just becoming, a part of the image of me that she didn't want to see. That's
A
why
part of the expectations that the rest of New Zealand has.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But,
feeding into that machine.
Yeah, no, I definitely suffered for quite a long time. Like, she didn't speak to me for two weeks, but she didn't forget it for a long time. And you feel that shit, when someone's hurt and you can't make it better.
Yeah.
That's vicious, bro. That's real vicious.
Have you ever had that moment with your own kids?
No, not yet.
Not
My
yet.
oldest is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
She's like, she was a good baby, she was a good toddler, and she's a good kid. Low-key worried that she
Aw.
turns out like me in high school. No, she's a really good kid.
Yeah.
She's sort of got my mouth, but she only ever uses it at her mum. She never uses that shit at me. I think it's just because, like, during that time, because her and her mother and I aren't together and haven't been for a long time, and she's always had, like, I think for the longest period, she's always had 4 sets of parents. And I was always the one that was called when real bad shit happened. I'd go over and I'd have to talk to her. And so I think I'm that image in her head. Like, I'm the image of discipline, which that duality fucks me up, because Mans is an absolute clown. Like, like, I'm a reject from way back, and now I'm the image of discipline. Hell no. I hope she never needs, like, real discipline, because Mans is a dickhead, like,
Hey.
I'm not the old
But
man.
that's, I guess it's out of respect for the title of dad or father,
Yeah.
for men that are out there being real fathers or real men.
Bro, it's the time, mate.
Yeah.
I think it's the time, you showed up when shit hits the fan, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more the time than the title, because a lot of people have that title, but they don't have the respect,
Yeah.
because
Like,
they
True.
didn't put in the time.
I'm not scared of anything in this world other than disappointing my mum and my grandmother. Like, and that's been solidified since, like, I think before the high school time. Like, I don't want to disappoint people, you know? My wife being up there as well, I don't want to disappoint them, but I really don't want to fuck it up for them, you know? Like, that's just my image of, like, I suppose my foundation for that too.
Bro,
Yeah.
I fully resonate with that.
I
'cause
respect that.
My grandmother's passed, but I still feel like I don't want to be their disappointment. So, like, even though she's passed on, you know, there's still that whakaaro there that she is still watching, and you know, if I do mess up, you know, it's coming.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think once my oldest gets out of her shell, she's gonna be, you know, like the first roast I ever caught from my baby, she was only like 3 or 4, and I just got in glasses, and I went to visit. No, I think it was 2 or 3 actually, and I went to go and visit her from Christchurch. I was living in Christchurch at the time, and it was her birthday, and I flew up, and she was just saying happy birthday to everybody, and then she said, oh, what did she say? She said like happy mum day, mummy. And I was like, ah, shame, you said happy mum day. And she looked me dead in my eyes and goes, ah, shame, glasses. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, right, that got me real, and I cracked up laughing. I was like, it had never been mentioned that would be something you take the piss out of somebody for, eh? And she looked me
Yeah.
dead in my eyes, quick as anything. Haha, shame, glasses. I was like, oh, you motherfucker. I was like, that came out too. Like I said the words. You like, oh shit! I was like, this is a child, man. You can't get butthurt about that. And I was like, nah, fuck course I can. I was like, I'm fine. I like fresh glasses, man. Still self-conscious, and then it's his own baby. Ha, shame, glasses. I was like, oh, the icing would have on the cake would have been if she said, ah, shame, bastard. Like,
Oh,
but yeah, she's got it in
man.
her. She's definitely got me in her. Like just her artwork when she's doing things. Today.
Shout outs to Baby Beats.
Not a baby anymore.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think close to like 5'10" now, and she's like 10 years old.
Whoosh.
She's tall, man. She's
Wow.
real tall. But yeah.
Halfway. Let's move on to our next co-op break, because just been conscious of it. So you're a member of a lot of communities at the moment. Like you're quite active with a lot of communities. You're with the Aggressive family.
I hear, bro.
Yeah, you've been involved with the NG whānau, the GG whānau, even coming in with the bogs in
Men's
with the city.
is a bog.
Bro,
I think I started to the blogs and all the chat. And now people say it to each other that aren't like a part of the original blogs, and I'm like, yeah, get in there.
You'll be seeing the old TikToks with the
Yeah, but I gotta clarify. Men's gets around to just interact with people, but the only community that I claim 100 is the aggressive fam. That's my home. That's where I live. Like if you want to see where I'm putting in the mahi,
the aggressive fam, bro. Yep.
Yeah,
actual. Like I tend to let it fly when people are like, oh yeah, he hangs around with a lot of different people. But when people get down to the wire and they ask me, what do I claim as and where's my home? Like, it's aggressive 100. You'll never find me being like, yeah, no, I'm a part of aggressive and Ngāti gaming and stuff. Like, no, I'm a part of aggressive as a fam, and the idea that you claim that kind of like an iwi, you know, like men's is, he's monogamous with himself like that. Like man's claims aggressive. I'll pitch him wherever. You know, I'm not afraid of mahi. I'll go in and I'll jump in with Ngāti Gaming, or like even shout out to the bro just for kicks. You know, like I jumped in his Discord, and you know I get amongst people and just yarn and just like to dabble and meet people. But when it comes to that tuturu whakaaro, like you know, this is Ngāti Gaming. This is aggressive. Men's is aggressive.
Yeah.
I will tautoko Ngāti Gaming for whatever kaupapa they want, but I'm not changing banners. You know, like I'm not a flexer like that. Man's tuturu to his whānau.
And also shout out to Red as well, because he did acknowledge your loyalty and your commitment to the aggressive fans and the kaupapa as well.
And it's not us for too. Like he didn't expect it. He didn't say to me, "Look, if you're gonna be down with the set, you have to run it." You know.
Yeah.
He just said, "Hey, bro, like." This is what I'm about. I'm about raising a community. I want people to grow and eventually go out, you know, and do their thing and become their own entity. And I was like, nah, I'm pretty keen to hang around, eh? Like, I like it here. This is the jam. And he was like, oh, only if you're sure. And that's why, I said to him, and this happened like fluidly over like the space of a couple of weeks. Like, it wasn't long at all. And I said to him, I was like, oh, you're setting up a Discord, I can help you out. Like, I got a lot of free time on my hands. I don't have a job because I can't work.
I was there as you were coming in, bro, and your presence was felt almost straight away. So this
And
when
like,
I first started meeting you, bro.
Yeah, I was appreciative of that because I had nothing as far as interaction with anybody else outside of my boys before that. And like, I was suffering for it. Like, people have work life, home life, and then they have social life. They have like a mix of things. I had home life, and like we said about being stagnant and not growing, man's weight machine was stuck on nothing, so he's just pulling at the cord, getting nothing from it. And not to say that the people who were around me at the time gave me nothing, but I wasn't growing as such. I was doubling down on that. And so when actually, shout out to Legend of Souls, because he's the reason I started streaming. He's the reason I met Red Maniac, and he's the reason why I'm here now. And I pay homage to the bro. Just like, we grew up together, but he really is the reason I started, because I'd always talked about it for years with the boys. Like, bro, you should stream. It'd be funny. People will get in and amongst it. But I was like, no, I'm not. Man's ain't about that life. Like, I'm not out here trying to make those moves. And then it showed up on my Facebook page.
Bro.
It just showed up, and it was like, come watch Legend of Souls. And I clicked on it, made a Twitch account just to watch him. Jumped in, started talking shit, and I was like, oh, he's playing COD. I was like, bro, let us have a jam. And then we started talking, because me and him will go, like, before we'd go years without talking, like 2-3 years, and then randomly we'd pop up and, we'd like yarn for like 4 or 5 months and then dip off again a couple of years later. Oh, check the ball. What do you have to? Oh, same old, Or I'd go to Christchurch and then I'd randomly show up at his house, and I have to bang on if he's asleep, I had to punch his door for like 10 minutes. Like, I'm like, police, wake up, we're entering your house kind of knocking. And he's just like, man's is dead to the world, eh? And the last time I actually went and seen him, I was like, fuck, it's really good to see you, bro. And it's really good to interact. It's really good to see you, like, see you. And I think that's what Twitch gives, eh? Twitch gives that buzz, that vibe. Like, oh, it's good to see you. You like, Talia with the creative writing streams, I managed to catch one. Those interactions were off, man. Shout outs to Talia for, like, having that as a place for people to come and interact.
It's such a safe space too.
Yeah.
Like, just freaking.
And like, that's just on, and getting it. That's what I really fed off of this whole, Nazi gaming as a tribe or aggressive as a tribe, was getting on and being able to see people. And people being able to see me, and then they're having those interactions, like those genuine laughs, like that's what I needed in my life at the time, and I found it. So shout outs to everybody who lets this hua like jump in their chats and their games and have a yarn, Shout out to Bro Prides too, because he was a big reason as to why coming into Nazi gaming and that was so smooth, because he made it easy, and everybody else as well. Don't get me wrong, but when I jumped in the bro's stream and then he jumped in mine, he won a giveaway, and it was like low-key like boosted as, because man's just like a scuff streamer as well as his deal. And I had to send him a gift, and I was like, oh bro, when you get it, just don't be surprised at the rapping and stuff. And I don't know if anybody else saw the video on Instagram.
I did.
But his reaction was homely for me, familial, like. And it's the same with aggressive. I get familial vibes. We talk shit like we're siblings. Like with the mods, I mean, like we're professional and we try to help the community as professionals. But if you could see the mod shit talking chat, you would be like, "Oh, these is just brothers. They're just the boys." And so big ups to them for giving me a home to go and call my own. And shout outs to Nazi Gaming for also keeping the door open and the jug warm for a young kōrero or a young glizzy every now and again.
Hard
Those 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. yarns, though, shit.
Baby fire though.
Also, apologies to Talia, because I shrung her out of my stream to send her to bed. Shout out AJ, because he's got a thing for toes.
Yeah. So I
Oh,
think it's
that took a while for that to go away from the aggressive fam, eh? Show us your waka.
I mean, that can be whatever you want it to be, bro. Your imagination is yours. Whatever you think that is, bro.
Yeah. I think it's a reciprocal relationship, Maury. I mean, not only for yourself coming in, but for others that have been able to interact with you as well. Like, you know, you've pretty much set the tone for a lot of other people to be able to cordial with you quite comfortably. And as
I
a
just
result,
want people to be themselves, eh?
yeah.
Come and be yourself. I'll accept you as you are, but if you're a hua, like too much of a hua, then I'm just gonna time you out. You keep playing up, I'm gonna swing you. You know, like it's not a, you know, it's not a big deal.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Seeker is too much of a hoot. But you've like pretty much taken on all the stuff, bro, and now you're pulling out the yas and the mans and the yeah, all the traits.
Some
I've
people see
always
through
spoken
them.
like that.
Yeah.
Me and Seeker are twins. If anybody swings him ever again in the chat, I'll be like, unswing my twin, or I'm out of here. You must be my man. Don't
I
you
think
ever
it's
put
because
my
certain
fist
people
in
see
the
through.
swing box.
Hmm. Actually,
Nah, yeah,
to be fair, unless you're a bog, bogs can swing.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. Shout
if
out
you
to the
know,
bogs.
you know.
And like shout out to the people that actively, you know, like take care of those bonds that they create with people, because you get a lot of fake noise outside of like the familial vibes. You get a whole lot of fake noise, people being like, yeah, we're the brothers, and then like I hear that from like Omi and like Agent Cone and stuff, and they're like, nah, we're the brothers, and I was like, that sounds real, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I hear it
Hard.
from the bro Red, like me and the bro Red. Um,
Hmm.
we got serious. We're like he's probably gonna hate this, but you know when you fall in love in high school with like your first girlfriend and it's like hard. Yeah, like we hard hit it off. Like not to sound not
Oh.
I don't care how it sounds, but like we're super invested and like I really do care about this cat a hell of a lot. And we talk and we chat and we keep it 100 and it's I suppose it's humbling and refreshing at the same time to have somebody care for you that you like never met or that you've never seen,
Yeah.
you know, and just hearing people's stories, you know, like not everybody that comes to you is okay, but shout out to the people that try to make it okay. Eh? That's what I mean by that.
Can I especially make that shout out to Agent Kahu, bro, because he's that
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
Kahu is that dude. Through and through.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
to those dudes.
Yeah.
Shout out to the cats who genuinely try to get in touch with people and see how they are and want to make a difference.
That's definitely Agent Kahu and Omi, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I think
That's-
I'm putting in work supporting the fam, and Omi's in the actual game. I'm like, oh heck,
Yeah.
heck,
Yeah.
this guy.
Shout outs to the
Omi.
box. To the
Shout out to
box.
on me Stalker. He's the only one I know in the whole community that got the name Stalker with love. Like he's the only aggressive,
Not
the
stalker
only
with the restraining
native,
order, eh?
the only Nazi gaming ever. He's the only stalker I know that gets that with love. Like, and he's everywhere. Like,
Yes.
I can't
And not
go
with the restraining order, eh?
hard.
Believe it or
No,
not, like
talk with love.
I've
Shout out to Pepe Le Pew.
rolled with Kahu and Omi for years. Like, and for the boys, like both of them to come out of their out of their shells and start streaming, man.
I'm out of their
Yeah.
shirts, eh? We you though.
Yeah, out of their shells. Shells.
That's the
Yeah, yeah. Hey.
leave those
Hot tub
ones
one year,
alone.
Hey.
boys. Hot tub 1 year, boys. That yeah, go,
Yeah.
you go. Look,
Okay. But yeah, no, the bros have definitely picked up the courage and made themselves a lot more active within the streaming communities, man. And as a result, the respect has come out from it. So you know,
Hard.
and I've got a ton of heaps of them too, yo. Like
hard up.
with the aces and the fam there, or just the shit, you know, shadows. You know, like
Yeah,
just
yeah, big shout out to Aces, man. Aces and Native Sons. Those like
Hard up.
connected to Omni who actually find out like these
Yeah.
people connect with so many people on their streams from like America and stuff with their GG gaming community and stuff, and they keep it 100 every time I go in that stream.
So,
They're
like,
always on the same
yeah.
buzz. They're
Yeah.
always on the same vibe, and they just they just max it. They max it real hard with the aroha to everybody. And it's just a testament to them, like, actually being related to Omi and stuff too, that their whānau is on. That
Z, it
whole
needs to be
whānau vibe,
seekers,
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
It needs to be seekers, Z, not prides. No.
yeah. If you want that in your chat, you actually have to go and talk to Seeker about it. I can't claim that and then just tell everybody, yeah, make one in your chat. You actually have to go and get the nod from the matua, from the uncle, from the karaua, whatever you call him. Go and talk to Seekwana about it. That's his.
Yeah.
That's his. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he gives you the yah, all good. If he gives you the nah, then you're not the brothers. You're not the gold. So that you know that's a good gauge for
You
your
literally have to ask for permission for the yaw.
Yeah. Oh, that's everyone here gets going. Oh, there you go. You got the nod. Yeah. Tuck that in there. But,
Dude,
yeah. That's,
Getting the that's my uncle status now. Oh shit.
that's the beauty of it all. One big happy whānau. Dude.
yeah. Actual.
Hey, so
I got one more
so
question, bro. Like, what's the most OTG yarn you've had in your
Oh,
stream, bro? What's the most OTG out the gate holy hecker
okay.
yarn
That's-
you've had?
Shout out to everyone in the UK, because your fella's slang and your fella's level of sharing is just something else. So if the bro Suplex City is lurking in the chat, or if he's around, he'll know exactly where this is going. So I have a bro called Big Eddie, and he lives in the UK. He's a streamer. Well, he's going through some things, but he's a streamer, and he's a bit of a hua. He's only had like a handful of streams, but he's fallen asleep drunk on them like at least 3 times. Like he's a hua through and through, but he's awesome. Yeah, Tommy Tank. Yeah, I mean, he smashed it.
Tommy Tank, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Does anybody in chat, I'll give you a minute, know what a Tommy Tank is? So if somebody says I'm going for a
Just
Tommy
learned
Tank
that
and I'm
last
going to
night.
bed.
Yeah. Just learned that last
Yeah,
night.
yeah. You learned Tommy Tank last night. Okay. And so he comes through, I'm streaming 2 hours in the morning. He comes through and I was like, oh yeah. He's like, all right, my man, I'm going for a Tommy Tank and then off to bed. And then my dumb ass, bro, I have no idea what a Tommy Tank is. And he just laughs and he was like, oh, the word tank, take the T out and put a W. And I was like, wait, what? So you're going to have a wank? And then Suplex City comes in and he was like, I had you tabbed. I was just going to do some work, and then I heard the word wank, and I was like, where in the hell is this going? Oh no, it wasn't a Hua stream, it was a morning stream. So this is like 10 o'clock in the morning, and man says the word wank out loud on stream. And then he comes in, he's like, what in the Huas is going on here? And then I had to try to explain it to him. I was like, oh no, bro, let me explain. He's like, no, bro, you lost. That's it. You are now connected with that word. That's you. That's on you, the brothers. And I just... And that entire line of kōrero from when I started like just getting on stream to that, and then the progression of kōrero after it is my stream in a nutshell. You know, like
Was that the same stream where they dropped the old hit the sack, or was it someone else?
No, that was our one last night.
Yeah.
The hit, bro, honest. I even those youngs.
Nez.
Shout out to the bro Enko Jays who come into the chat and said he was gonna hit the sack and then go to sleep, and I was like, hey? And because we had just finished talking about that, I was like, oh my god. So is the actual saying for hit the sack means you're going to go and slap the salami and go to sleep? Like when people say I'm gonna hit the sack and they're talking about, you're like, oh, he's going to bed.
I don't know,
is that
bro.
where that saying came from? And these are the kind of like wrinkle the brain yarns that, you know,
Wait, does
somebody
it?
swing Itzy. I don't want that to be my name.
Yeah, not long after that yarn followed
Yeah.
relativity, receptors, and atomic theory.
Yeah, shout out to Eighth Wonder who walked into us talking about atomic theory, and he was like, what in the Hui yarns is this at like 3 in the morning? I'm like, yeah, welcome to my stream. You know, I bring in the Huas and we talk Huas all day. Yeah.
Bro,
That's my stream in a nutshell.
Hey.
You will come in and you'll get a yarn whether you want it or not. And
Bit of a lucky dip there on the subject matter.
half the time the man doesn't want these yarns, but who am I to like deny a person his right to say whatever he wants? So come on, say it. You might get swung, you might get laughed at, but it's all good. I get laughed at all the time. You know, if you checked out the photo, if you were there last night when I was eating McDonald's and I told the story of my nostalgia, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Hey, apologies to my son who paid homage to the porcelain gods because of his dad's cow bun.
What burger did you have?
Oh, so
I
that,
had
that keeps coming
five.
up, bro. Eh? That tier list has been nothing but controversy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
eh?
shout out to Agent Kahu because he's with me on that because hashtag fuck the fillet. That thing got too much
I got a
respect.
fillet right here,
Yeah.
bro, just for you. Just for
Yeah.
you.
Swing it.
I brought me one
Swing
just for
it.
I hope you
you.
choke on it. I
Gotta
hope your
eat
grease
it.
is gone. I hope your sauce is mud. I hope that burger is gone.
Controversy, that
Hey,
tier
actually,
list.
shout out to
Bring the
Seek102 because he
Bring
knows.
the fillet,
Bro,
bro.
swing the
Bring
fillet.
the fillet.
Swing it.
Seek102 knows. Hey,
Swing it.
fucking rubbish. Hey,
Straight.
rubbish. Yeah, and Prides too, swing him out of chat because he was on there with that fearless mudder. Bro, all of you have mud taste buds. Come around here, come to Tauranga. I'll show you what a burger is. I will convert all non-believers. All you pagans in your fillet, get out of here.
Yeah, I had to bring
Yeah.
one just for you, bro.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
I appreciate that. On a serious note, Fano, you can eat whatever you want. I don't actually hate fillets, but
Yeah,
that triggered
yeah.
me, man.
That's
That
just-
triggered me. Yeah, and also
It's just a fun talking point and icebreaker.
Nah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know, bro. It's
Yeah.
just
And
fucking
get to know
funny,
the
man.
people around you. You think you know people.
If only you were in the PS chat where me and Kahu had the heated yarn about that bloody tier list and the disrespect that some of those burgers got. Hey, Actual Seeker triggered, bro. We were both triggered. And we weren't even like the brothers. Oh, like, yeah, we probably were the brothers at the time, but that solidified. You know how you have glue? That holds
Yeah.
it on strong? We leveled up from like
That's
normal
what I'm
PVA to
saying,
the super
bro,
glue.
yeah.
I'm
That was
glad.
the super glue.
You get
of
to
yarn.
know people. You think you know people.
Fuck you, Prides, your taste buds are mudder. Go and have your fucking Wendy's or Starbucks. Yuck. With your mud yarns. I'll drink Waikato with the boys. You can go and have a shake.
Fano, the pool is up. Swing or save the fillet. Swing or save.
Swing that shit. If you're a real one, you swing it. You'll swing it for the brothers. Free, yeah, Pride's and Hostess Bees are free Niz. Niz is a real one. Nah, mate.
Yo,
like,
Niz does get the shout out for that, yo. Shot for keeping
Oh.
it alive.
Keeping it alive, eh? Shout out, yeah, actually, special shout out to their whānau and stuff because they're massive, man. They
Yeah.
always come through. I can't say it enough about all the being connected to communities and stuff like that and all the love that gets like shown, especially from them, you know, like even coming in and going as far as to become a part of the streams individually, you know, not just hanging around the crowd or like trying to be nice. Man, I'll spend
Even
all
stepping in and hosting.
everyone goes to swing everybody about that fillet. Don't test me. Don't test me on that. Mans will go broke and go broke.
I don't know who I'm battling right now, but I'm battling someone for the. Oh my
Swing
god!
it.
Oh
Swing it.
yeah, I'm getting outpowered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
that's the
battle's on.
brothers. Yeah, the brothers. No, but yeah, and that's just because we can have that over a burger of all things.
Yeah,
We can have this much community interaction. You know, the laughs, the
Like,
yarns.
I love that, man.
No. The gout can stay on me and it can go and sit on Agent Kahu's bum. Bro, because he come into my stream watching me eat McDonald's like it's my fault. He's watching me have a feed. And he gave me like actual 55 middle fingers the whole time. Like, I don't control your camera or what you're watching. Get on my stream. But it's my fault, apparently. So he can have that gout. We broke now? Yeah. Yeah. Honest to the whoas, like that's my, I suppose, vibe in a nutshell. We can go from discipline to talking about a fillet, you know, upbringings, you know, the laughs, the yarns. Man's is connected in more ways than one. Wicked,
Yeah.
wicked.
and it's just awesome to have a community of people you can
Hard.
share it with. Eh?
Hard.
Mm.
You never know what's gonna trigger the puno yarns, eh? Like you'll think, oh, no one's gonna be talking about this. Next minute, 3 or 4 of the boys, oh yeah, I know about that. You're like, hey, that's always people you never expect.
Hey, well, Rongo's trying not to put her money where her mouth is. Babe, you put your funds up there. You put your funds up, boy. If you lose, you lose. None of these give back half.
Contributed 11,000.
Damn! I just dropped 11k. Sheesh.
Yeah.
It's all
Later,
good.
boy. Yeah, like that's it. Put your money where your mouth is, boy.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
sit here and eat it though.
Yeah, enjoy it. No, I hope you enjoy it. But low key, sneeze halfway through a bite and have cheese come out your nose. Because fuck that burger.
Oh man.
Swing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, swing it is, whānau.
Yeah,
Swing the fillet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, all the
It's been
points.
decided.
Yeah, you bring up a fillet in the stream, you get swung. 20k stream, smash that button. Yeah, shout out to the twin, the sequel.
Well,
Need to get those.
I was
Need to
willing
get
to
those
see how far people were willing to push by spending their hongi points on the extra votes. Obviously, Choco was willing to do all she could to possibly save the old fillet. Unlucky for her.
I know.
Yeah, consider the fillet swung.
Yeah,
Officially.
Yeah.
officially swung. I don't want to hear no more talk about it. I don't want to hear no free this, free that. Y'all got swung. The community has spoken. Put out that fire, free the fillet, and walk your ass to the sad beach. That's done. Man's is redeemed, you know. Man's is in the rain. Hands in the air, he won.
Seekers just redeemed whakatauki o te wiki. Whakatauki o te wiki, ko e mate wheke me mate ururoa. Don't die like the octopus, I like the hammerhead shark. So if you ever go down whānau, go down fighting. Ka pai, there you go. Seeker, whakatauki o te wiki. Bro Jammers, before we get into our final question, my bro, I just want to ask one more, which is based around this kaupapa. Any future dreams, aspirations, goals in mind that you have, my bro?
Ooh. My future dreams and aspirations.
Yeah, Jam aspirations.
Yeah, aspirations. Man, I'm trying to really reach for the answer, and the most simplest one right in front of my face is that we're not doing this with a chat and cameras, but kanohi ki te kanohi.
Koia.
I'd love nothing more than to be able to facilitate us getting to the point where the second boil is like the additive, and then the end of year or mid year or start of the year meetup is the boil, you know.
Koia.
I'd love to be able to bring all the boys in the aggressive fam, you know, like into one place, or just everybody that's a streamer that's connected. That those of us in Oceania who live in Aussie and stuff can just roll up somewhere, and we can put the pot on for reals.
Yeah.
And we can put the IRL SB to the test.
Let's
and see
go.
who gets booed out.
Let's go.
There
Okay.
are some of you who is in here that need a young uppercut of doom with your cheat codes. Stop playing Wigger, you bastard. Reach for something else. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Lens is triggered. Nah, but in all seriousness though, like, it's all love. I just want you to know that if you're ever near Tauranga, hit me up. Man's has got an open door policy, except when the wife doesn't want it, then it's closed. But my door's always open. We might have to meet in the garage and have a meet up if the house is locked, but safe. I got you.
Bro.
Yeah, dude, that's us tomorrow. Guaranteed.
Right.
Oh, you might even get a young live on the cell phone with me and the hua.
Dude.
Is that a
Yeah.
pro one?
That's yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. If you hey, I thought we were the brothers. No, yeah, that would be my one dream, is that we could all get together. Kanohi ki te kanohi, over glizzies or over kōrero, over wana, whatever it may be. That the meetups went hard, that they didn't need to be planned too hard, that it was just easy for everybody to get together.
Can I just say that goes both ways, eh?
Yeah.
You know, as much as you open your door out of the whānau, consider it open on our side as well. You know, Bro, I would look forward to the day where I could just sit down, have a coffee and a kōrero with you about the pono yarns, about everything, because bro, your mātauranga is next level.
And this
You
entire
know, enjoy the pono yarns from being like, you know, crack-up-huas as we are, to being able to kōrero about kaupapa, you know, in a different light, as we have tonight. You know, but like you said, kanohi ki te kanohi. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
some
to be
of us might end up in, you know, ki koatu ko maira and hang out and
yes.
have some of those lonely yarns where you meet up with that one brother that you just want to give that like massive hug. Shout out to Aggressive Dan, because whenever I see Aggressive Siri, whenever I see those two in real life, every 10 seconds or every time I walk past, it's always a hug, because we know that it's short-lived. So every time I see him, he's always got big hugs. Man's like, if you think I've got the pono yarns, you should go and see the world through his eyes, man.
No.
He's got like a lot of yous have like a blessed vision, and I'm glad to be a part of it, as much as yous like coming to me for yarns. You know, the Bro Red Maniac, he's got a take on life that I think maybe even 0.5% of people in New Zealand would ever see. You know, take the time to listen, whānau. Take the time to really try and connect with people, because you never know what's out there.
Yeah,
Even the bro Axie, the bro Matsua, the sister Hot Choco, like there are experiences in lives and learning that you can just from saying hello to someone that you can garner, you know. Free gifts, bro. Free gifts. Everybody loves free stuff. Go and get some free stuff. Yeah. Go and get you a
You
freebie.
know where that next bit of information is going to make that connection, bro.
Yeah, hard. I mean, you could end up at Tommy Tank, or you could end up at a Tommy Free. You never know. A gift's a gift if it's free, you know.
Ka pai. Well, kua taira ki tēnā wā e hoa. Nā reira, nāku anō te maringa nui ki te tukuna I te pātai whakamutunga ki a koe e hoa. If it's okay with you two, I got us on this one, ka pai?
You got us, Bolt.
Hard.
Okay.
Gosh.
Te kai o ngā kai, te hua o ngā hua. Yeah, te kōmau o te ora me ki. He aha tō tino hua, tō tino kai.
It's already there on the tip. I know exactly what I'm gonna say. Shout out to if anybody sees Te Hure B like floating around, that's my mum. She made an account specifically just to watch this. She won't chat, or she probably won't chat. Shout out to her, because without her, not knowing what Kamo Kamo would have been is probably the greatest loss I would have ever known. So yeah, ko tērā te kai. You can put it in anything.
Yes.
It has to be Kamo Kamo. You know?
Smash that too, Bolt.
Yeah, Kamo Kamo with a bit of butter and salt.
Real butter, Bolt. Needs to be the real butter for sure.
Yeah.
Te B. She might be watching it on my one and can't figure out why she can't hear anything, because I've got mine muted. But I'll send it to the VOD after. But yeah, anything that she touches is godlike. Anything I try to make after like those memories is mud. Mans can't make the man stew like her. Can't make the. She came over home and she made a boil up with pickled pork, like a whole pickled pork.
Oh, you haven't had that in ages.
No, like when I tell you that this thing was vicious, and that it just makes the man sad that he can't. I brought pickled pork and tried to make it. I did the exact same thing. Same instrument, same water, same mud.
We had that corridor, eh, bro?
Yeah, we did. We did.
So I like my favorite kai would be made with the old lady's hands, and that's the honest truth. Anything she touched, man, it's gold.
Hey. But the Kamo Kamo is the one that hits the hardest.
Yeah, that was my baby food. Never mind the riwai or the bokena or the, you know, none of that stuff. Man's was built up on Kamo Kamo.
Oh, boy.
Same thing I gave my daughter when she was a baby too. Kamo Kamo Kumara.
Yum.
Yeah, that's a bit. Te Hure B. Te Hure is like the nickname that our hapu gets in the valley where I'm from. So my hapus, they're my hure. It's the first mara you'll hit if you ever go to Ruatoku. With this ugly peach house right across the road. That's my homestead. It is. It's ugly as. Man, it looks like a sore thumb.
All good, bro. You be inside, not outside.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
Te ko te rangatira ko te kōrero. Oh yeah,
Poia.
thanks mum. Yeah, so that's my mum. Be nice. She's not one to be trifled with.
Mad respect.
Hard.
Oh, well, ka pai, well, kia tukuna te rākau ki a koe i te rangatira. Shout out to my bro, all on you.
I just want to take the time, firstly, in all honesty, I can't give enough aroha and respect to everybody I've met. You know, shout out to the bro Souls who gave me the courage to get in there. Shout out to the bro Red for putting me on. Shout out to T Baggins and the bro Carnage for coming up with, like, honestly the greatest whakaaro ever to give Māori a place to be Māori. Shout out to the bro Omi, the GG whānau. Shout out to everybody else. This all happens because of you. You know, like, we couldn't have a Boyle, we couldn't have Jamassbeats, we couldn't have Red Maniac, we couldn't have any other streamer in OCE. Couldn't have this vibe, this ahua, I suppose, or this level of connection if it wasn't for you. So shout out to chat. Koere te mea nui, ko ngā tānata, you know. Kia rātou kia te mana, you know, te mana whenua, te mana rangatira. Kia rātou kia. We might be here, Akona, you might see my face, you might see me talking shit, but they're the ones who deserve your love and respect, even if they aren't streamers. Shout out to you, chat. Everybody in there.
Kia ora.
Except for Kahu, he can suck my toe.
Shout
Shout out to the
Cheer up.
Shout out to the Bob.
Ka pai. On to
One
you,
more for the
Joko.
road.
I just want to say, yeah, shout out to chat. You guys are always a vibe. Shout out to you, bro. I've learned a lot about you, and shout out to your mom, Nan, and all your whānau.
Kia ora.
It was awesome having you on, and just learning about your life experience. Like, from what I can take from this whole kōrero, like, I learned a lot, definitely, but you're definitely multifaceted, and I love that you can speak on so many things. I love that superpower of yours that you think you'd be just like a sidekick. That's fucking dope that you can just talk on different things. So shout out to you. Shout out to my co-hosts. Love being here always, every week. It's always a vibe. Appreciate this community, just as Jamas just said. It's dope thing we got going here.
Mean. My bro.
Who's left? No, sorry. No, just have to reiterate, as I do every week, the bro Jamassbeats, I do say, you know, time is precious. So the fact that, hang on, try that again. Yeah, time's precious, bro, and the fact that you took it out to be with us, bro, mad shout out to you. Bro, it's been a mean journey so far since meeting you and getting on the, you know, the yarns and just seeing you in every other stream too, bro. That you're the same, you're almost on me level. It's just you're not in the game every time, only sometimes, bro. Like the mad support you show the community, and like, you know, you're chucking the jokes around, but in case people don't know, it is a safe place to bring up.
Sorry. This is just real quick. If anybody see Pieps, that's PEUPPS, that's my wife. I forgot to mention it before.
Yeah.
That's my wife. She made it specifically to watch tonight, so shout out to her too. Always in the background.
Oh yeah. That moves on to the next part too, and this is what the bro keeps saying: to the family that supports us. You know, the ones in the background, the ones who, like before, I just thanked you for giving up your time, thanking them for letting us have that time. So without that support in the back there, you know, how hard would trying to do this be when you got like the MIDI coming in there? What are you doing? Bro, you're weird. Get off there. You know? So that's just a shout out to, you know, the main fam, you know, your number ones. Got a shout out to your Nan, bro, that story. Bro, your Nan, bro.
Like I said, bro, I was blessed to grow up the way that I did. I know I'm lucky. I know I'm extremely lucky, and if I can give a piece of that to people that wanna experience. Like I said, I'll match your energy with energy. If you need someone, I'll be there for you. I'm always up. Man's never sleeps. So if you need
Yeah, for
somebody
sure, bro.
day
I
or
can
night,
Right.
you know.
I
get at me.
can attest to that. Again, there was another thanks to the bro for the 1 a.m. think I'm gonna moy to the 4 a.m. I better go to sleep now. So shot for all the stolen sleep, my bro.
Like I said, you come to me. I didn't make you
Yeah.
come to my stream,
It's
but
not a
make you
complaint
stay there
at
and make
all.
you
It's
talk.
a shout out. It's
Yeah.
not a complaint.
Nah, but just
And
before
here's
we
too many more, bro, and too many
yeah,
more.
just before
Um,
we wrap it up, bro. Sorry, I know I keep cutting people. I'm real bad at it. I do apologize, but I can't stress it enough. I know, like it's real. Like if you think I'm doing anything special or super, bro, man's isn't. Just get in there. It's real. What he's talking about, just get in
but
there.
you know what you're doing? Yeah, hard out.
Right.
That was like, doesn't really make sense unless you know, way. Just get in there,
Mm.
Paul. Chat like always. Big shout out to Chat, who's always in there offering their whakaaro. I mean, it's clear to see what kind of corridor you get into. So the shop for coming through with the support. The OCE community as a whole, and I'm about to run out of breath, and I'm gonna chuck it on to. I need to thank my co-hosts as well
Tēnā
for
hui.
coming through every week. I know Choco comes through from uni, races home in Tamaki traffic. So if anyone sees just the Tuckanini turn off on its own, that's just 1 hour gone skis out of your day. And yeah, I'll chuck it on to the bro because I'm pretty sure he's got a shopping list there of people to shout out.
No, because you and Choco pretty much said it all. Engari, ina e pai ana ki a koe kia tukuna taku mihi ki a koe hiro te reo Māori. Kei te pai?
Don't
Bro,
bother
mate.
that one. Just on that kaupapa of te reo Māori, I think in the spirit of everything that's happened, I'm going to share with you something that I hold very close to me. And there's been a poll in my channel for a long time. And so to give a shout out to everybody to round us off, I'm going to give you te puru right now. But I'm not
Let's
going to do
go.
it fully.
Yeah.
I'll just go through it once. Because if I go through it fully, I might wake my children up and they'll come in screaming and crying, and then it's going to be awkward. So, yeah, nei whānau.
Let's go.
Yeah, excuse my messy top. My babies like to put their food all
Kei
over
te
it.
pai.
Easy.
There we go.
Goosebumps, bro. Got them goosebumps. Let's go.
Beats.
Yo.
Yeah.
Tēnei te tukumihi atu ki a koutou. Fuck.
Kei te pai, kei te pai.
Round us off, matua.
Right. Before I get into giving my shout out, bro, can you please schedule us who are we gonna raid?
Oh yeah, I sort of just lost track of everything there, eh?
Yeah,
Me,
just
me
that
tuku
moment
hā
was
koe e
amazing.
hoa. Tuku hā.
Alright.
So
So,
who's on? Who's on that might need a tautoko?
I'll put it to the community. You fellas decide.
Ka pai.
I'm in it for the ride. Excuse my hoarseness.
Community who we're going to raid. If someone can put up a name, actually can get us ready for the raid. Ka pai. That being said, e te kaitau e te rangatira. Na wano nei...
Grab yours, T Baggins, is that a person?
I oi kupu a tāhua I horahi e ki Wanganui a tātou ringi I tēnei kaupapa. Nā reira, nā rungi I tēnā o ngā whakaro kia tukunga I ngā mihi ki a koe. O tira a ki ngā mate huhua ki rungi I opoko iwi. Nā rātou anō e whārikiti I te ara hei hikunga mau. Engari nau anō e tipakohia ina kia whai aki I tērā ara hei hua mau. Nā reira ka mihi atu ki a rātou. Tae noa ki tō kuia, ki tō whaia. Rāua tahi e poipoia I a koe kia puho wai hei pītau whakarei o rātou mā.
Kia ora.
Mō tēnei reanga. Kua tae koe ki Wainganui a tātou. Kia whakaputa ai I o mohiotanga, I o maramatanga, I rungi I te ngākau humari. Kia whai hua tātou katoa. Ki ngā kōrero ko whārikitia. Hei whakakapia I oku mihi, kia tuku I ngā mihi ki tō rangatira, o tira ki o tamariki. Hei te mutunga o te wā, ko rātou anō te mea nui mau. Ko rātou anō au tino taonga, au māpihi paunamu, hei tiaki, hei manaki, hei tautoko. Nā reira, nā rātou anō e whakawātia I a koe kia whai wā ki te kōrero ai ki rungi I tēnei hōtaka. He mihi mutunga kore ki a koutou katoa. Tēnā koe. Bro, humble.
Thanks for letting me share even a little bit of myself with you. Thanks for all of the laughs, the kind words, the connections, you know. It's why I do what I do. That's why I'm here. It's just why. Ponder that. Ponder the why. Why do you do what you do? I do what I do because Men's is out here just trying to connect. Yeah.
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 And you've done exactly that.
Shame. The big reason for the haka whānau, I'm just going to let it be known because I haven't found the right place to share that with the aggressive fam, and I've seen a lot of them in the chat, a lot of them getting amongst the communities, like even outside of, you know, stuff like this. They're about. And
I see them, bro. I see them.
That was for them. That was for Wookie. That's for Herc. That's for Red. You know, that's for Bad. That's for the twins. That's for Souls. And the bro Broken Sleep. That was for yous. Yous put me on, and I got nothing but love and respect for yous, yeah.
For all of yous. Nā reire te whānau, that's us. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Chau bro. Please take a photo. Pō Mari e whānau. We out.
Yeah.